I'm starting. Are you ready? Hi guys, welcome to Riti's channel, and today, as I told you before, we're gonna have guests, and today I have a guest as you see here, and he's
Albert David Bangura.
Yes, so I will let him introduce himself very well. In case you're asking yourself, okay, why are we doing this? Why are we bringing new people? You should go watch the before my episode, before the vlog that I did. So go check it and you will see why I'm inviting guests. But before that, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. So we're going back. So introduce yourself again.
Thank you very much, Little Roman, for this opportunity. As I said, my name is Albert David Bangura. I'm graduating this year, 2023, computer engineering. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Albert, explain to us about your whole career. Why you chose computer engineering. As you said, you're studying computer engineering and you're graduating with that. So explain to us why you chose that particular career and how has it been before picking what you're picking, and what motivated you the most to pick what you're going to study? Because I'm very sure a lot of students, some of them, will be looking for some stuff to study, maybe in the university, or you might even want to study masters, you see. So you might be motivated by Albert here on what to do. So Albert, tell us your career and why did you pick it, and maybe the importance, if you mind. We'll see about that.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm very excited about my field. People who follow me on social media, they know. So why I chose the field, it was back then in senior school. I was in SS2. So I was at a point where my parents wanted me to study medicine, and really I wasn't too interested into medicine because I literally didn't like biology. I was doing well in it, but you know. So at that point, I knew I had to decide on something, so I started researching. And during the process, I discovered that there was a field called computer engineering, which has to do with mainly about computer hardware and software. So, and I also researched about salaries, job opportunities, and I must say that all these factors were really motivating to help me make the decision. For instance, about job opportunities, now we have the global market on the internet wherein, for instance, I can be in Cyprus and work for an employer here in the UK. So I think, especially these opportunities are very prevalent now in the tech industry or the tech field. So this all helped me to decide what I studied.
So as for record, guys, I'm with one of the best students in my university, and also he's the best student in his country, I think, during his particular year. So like in my country we have something like a Tanzanian one, so he's a Sierra Leone one. So Albert, can you please just explain to us how has it been on your journey? Like how is your study timetable, or how is it like for anyone who is maybe thinking, okay, I think I need to be a Tanzanian one, a Sierra Leone one, a world one, you see? So just tell them how does it take? What takes you the most?
So it's a very interesting question because my whole life, except in primary school, wherein I had a friend who was always taking the first position, but since I entered junior school, I can say I got used to becoming the first.
Oh.
So becoming the first, you just have to decide that you want to be the first. And when you decide, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. For instance, in my schedule since junior school, I literally study every day. I grew up with the mentality that once I have the energy and I'm not doing any work that have been assigned to me, whether it has to do with house-related chores, or maybe I'm not just, when I just have the time and the energy, I think the best thing at that time for me to do is to study. So I didn't grow up having the mentality that, oh, I have to study 2 hours, and after my 2 hours, I just go around doing whatever I want to do. That was not me. So I grew up with this, and till now, I'm still like that. So, but I'm not trying to say that you have to be like me for you to become the first or to excel in the field of computer engineering or whatever field you are. I'm just saying that this is how I grew up. I started, and I've continuously become who I am, like in my classes, excelling in what I do. So this is what works for me and what I've gotten used to. Yeah.
So do you think like education is some sort of very important thing? Or do you feel like, okay, I'll just pursue my stuff through education. I will be what I want to be through education. Or there is a way like, okay, no need of education. Do you think in this current world, it's
a very interesting question. And so me personally, I think education is very important, even if you have the money. You know, in our world today, people can make money without going to school. But I think education itself should be separated from money. I mean, maybe not totally, but you should at least go to school, not because you want to make money. Like, literacy is very important. Now, the time you will value literacy is when you speak to someone who is illiterate. You can literally tell, okay? So, I love education, maybe because, you know, I grew up in the village, and I was taken from the village to the city to attend school. So also this helped me to, you know, I used to meditate a lot. I mean, I was asking myself, I've been taken from the village to the city to come and attend school. So I literally developed this mindset that then I have to really do the school that I am here for, understand? So it helped me develop this, grow up with the mindset that, okay, education is important, first of all, to me, to change my life. And I believe also education is a vehicle to change a lot of things about my family, about my country and the world. Because with education, you are basically empowering yourself with the knowledge, with the tools, with the skills. Education for me is really not limited to the classroom. Okay? Education in this age of the internet, you can even be in your room and educate yourself. But what gave me the foundation was the formal school system that I went through: primary school, junior school, and university.
okay. I think, guys, for you who are planning not to pursue your education anymore, you're like, education is no longer important. Again, education has its part. And as I say, like, once you speak to someone who is educated and not educated, illiterate and literate, you see the difference. You literally see, like, okay, he has gone to school, he's knowledgeable, and so and so. So, but tell us about the field of computer engineering.
So computer engineering is a very exciting and interesting field. You know, what I love most actually, as I said earlier, there are two subfields in computer engineering: the hardware and the software. So throughout my studies, I realized I love more the software, which has to do with basically writing softwares. For instance, a lot of people, almost everyone in this age that uses a smartphone, uses a software, for instance, WhatsApp, Facebook. These are all softwares developed using the principles that we learn in the field of computer engineering. I don't want to go deep because it may not sound easy to someone even. Yeah. So I just want to point out that these are all the things you will learn in the field of computer engineering. You are taught the principles behind or the mathematical theories, because mostly it's about the theories that you are taught how to build these things, how to make them in this large scale. For instance, Facebook. The last time I checked, there are over 5 billion downloads.
Okay.
So at times you make your app, if you have, let's say, just 100 users, it may work well. But there are cases where you begin to have 1 million users, 2 billion. There are some things, some principles that you have to implement in your software to allow your software to work with that performance and with that good, to give the users that good experience, you know. So all these principles we are taught and many other things. I believe it's an exciting field, and I completed this study, and I believe it was worth it. Although there are people now who can get this knowledge online, but I think for me it was a good experience, and I really value it.
Okay, in just a normal life that we are in, how much is our world computerized currently?
So basically, as we are hearing everywhere this year, the 2023 AI. So this is telling you that.
In case you don't know what AI is, it's artificial intelligence.
Thank you very much. So, so AI is coming, and it's coming to us like in every area of our lives, especially students. I believe you have used AI in your studies.
Yes.
We have the new boy around ChatGPT,
Yes.
who knows everything. I usually describe him like that. So I think, for now, we can already see, and we don't really know where the extent to which this will go. But many scientists or computer scientists have predicted that there will come a time, even jobs that human beings are not doing, it will be computers that are doing them basically. And for instance, there was a story I was reading about in China where there's a bank completely operated by robots. For instance, you go, you want to cash out, and then give your bank details. The robot checks everything, and these things are just softwares, algorithms built into hardware, which are the two basic components of computer engineering. So I believe, and it's not far from now, that many jobs will really be computerized, not just what we are using now, like Facebook. Even messaging, I believe there will come a time you just ask maybe a robot, send me a message to this and this.
Yes, I think it's very possible to do that right now. I usually use my Siri. People who use iPhone and other devices, I don't know. You can ask your Siri to reply a message to Albert that tell Albert I'm on my way. Yes, so that's how much our world is computerized. So by the way you were saying that many jobs will be computerized, does that mean, okay, why am I schooling if many jobs will be computerized? Do you think people are going to lose their jobs? Or do you think there is a need to shift your career? Or what do you think?
Of course, these new technologies always bring new opportunities. I always say, I preach this like a gospel. So I always say to young people, like, AI is here. The right thing for us to do right now is to discover and find out how can you position yourself to make sure that you are making use of the AI at your advantage. I don't believe AI will completely replace all jobs, but mostly, at least, the entry-level jobs will be replaced. So now, if you are working as an entry-level, for instance, an entry-level software developer, what does that mean? It means you have to upskill to make sure that when this AI comes that can do the entry-level job, I need to advance. And in real sense, to me, AI is here actually I believe it's here to make our lives easy. Because now I use AI in my programming. How do I use AI? For instance, I need to write something. Maybe I don't exactly remember right now how to do it, but I can write a sentence, okay, and ask AI. AI will give me, okay, it will be like a reminder. Maybe I may not necessarily copy exactly what he wrote, but just seeing what he did, I instantly remember how I can implement it in my application. Also, another way I use AI is to ask it to explain. Maybe I'm reading the code that someone wrote, I don't understand. I take the code, paste AI, say explain. It explains. Or maybe I'm writing code, there is an error. It's called debugging in computer programming. I ask AI to debug the code, and it goes through my code and then finds the error and fixes it.
So can you explain the two terms, entry level and debugging?
Entry level and debugging. Actually, debugging is a term used to describe to where in a program there's an error, but you need to find the error in the code. So that process is known as debugging. Whereas entry level is like enough, especially in tech, because the tech field has different levels. You can have the entry level. I mean, a career in tech can have various levels. For instance, a developer, you can have the entry level, the intermediates, and the senior. And it takes time for you to progress from beginner, just like beginner. Entry level is back actually for beginners.
Okay.
So, but it takes time to get to that point where you want to reach, you know. So, these people that are beginners are always referred to as entry level. But the jobs that are for beginners are always referred to as entry level jobs.
Okay.
They are basically, we do not too advanced stuff, but basic stuff.
Basic stuff. So, do you think technology is scary?
Yes, to answer this question, it's very interesting though, because especially this year, there has been a lot of fear, especially regarding AI, that AI will bring civilization to an end or will lead to killing of human beings, but it's not really right. Yes, any technology for that matter is good, it's very good, but at the same time it can be misused, and when misused can become bad. Not only technology. For instance, you are cooking, salt is very good. If you don't put salt, your food won't taste good. But if you put too much quantity, it becomes bad. So I believe life in general is like that. Once anything is misused, even though it may be good, it can become bad.
That's how technology is. I think we should embrace it, right?
We should actually. As I said, technology is there to make our life easy, and I think you can agree to it.
Yeah.
Technology, currently as it is, it has made our life easy, right?
Yeah.
What example can I give? Cars.
Yes.
Cars makes our lives easy. Car is built on this technology. You know, before now, or in those days, our parents used to use donkeys.
Yeah.
And you can tell how not so friendly or good it may be, especially down here, for instance, this hot is so.
Yeah.
Right?
We have A6.
We have ACs. All these are built on technology.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. All we must do is to use it responsibly.
Yeah.
And I think government can help to moderate or regulate, especially AI technologies. You know, to put some regulations in place, like things people can use it for, things people cannot use it for. Like there are people who are just there to use these things to harm others.
Yes.
So, but if there is a law that says if you do use this technology, do this and this, you can be charged to court. So I think.
So do you think like maybe technology is it misuse of our resource? There is a way it can exploit our resources, or do you think that's when we have to implement some laws on it?
For now, as I understand, Elon Musk and others actually called governments to put regulations regarding the use of AI, and it's important. I also agree. As I said, technology in itself is not bad, it's good. But when used by bad people with bad intention, it can become really bad.
So guys, you've heard about AI. I would also like to ask, like, what are the simple things that someone might not know? Okay, this is an AI.
Simple things, for instance, you mean examples of AI? Now, AI can be built.
As I say, AI is artificial intelligence, guys.
Yeah. So AI can be built into anything. It can be built into your computer software. Like for instance, Microsoft Word. I think almost every student must have used it. So AI can be built into Word, for instance, to summarize for you a text that you are writing, or a text that you may have opened into the Word software. You can ask it to summarize. I think you remember this Notion that I recommended to you. What it does is text, and then you ask it to summarize.
Yes, to summarize.
So AI can be built into everything possible. It can even be built into a chair. What does that mean? Maybe it's a chair that folds and unfolds. You can say, while I'm here, you can put a sensor. The chair will know when you are there and it unfolds. You sit down. Once you leave, it can fold again, maybe to prevent dust. So all these are exciting ways we can use AI. For instance, again, you can use maybe AI with Internet of Things and put something in your fridge that would help to tell you when maybe your milk is finished, when you have to buy. And all these things. Exciting.
Do you think these lights that we normally like once we enter, is it AI? Like we enter, it goes on. Is it AI?
It's actually dealing with sensors, and sensors are built into artificial intelligence systems.
Okay.
That one is more in the field of IoT. IoT means Internet of Things.
Internet of
Internet of
Things.
Things, yeah. So what they do, they put a sensor on the door, and the sensor will know when an object is coming. So the sensor will interpret that object as human being. So it will definitely be I did a course in that to even build robots that was kind of avoiding obstacles. The robots will move, and once it goes close to an obstacle, it looks for a free road, and then it takes the free road. Yeah. So all these are exciting things that you can do with technology.
Yes, guys. So, guys, you've heard until there. So, the other thing that I would like to ask you, I was talking to one of my brother, and he was like, nowadays about computerization of this world. Nowadays, even chairs, cups, you need a computer to do that. So, can you explain that for some other people so that they can understand?
I didn't get your question.
Okay, he was telling me that how much our world was computerized is that nowadays even tables, while people are making tables, you need a computer to like make that table. Maybe I don't know, it's either the measurements, I don't know, it's the shape. So do you maybe think it's related to computer engineering or some sort of other career someone should pursue?
So as I said earlier, actually you can build software into hardware to help you do jobs like jobs that human beings can do. For instance, cleaning toilets can be done by human beings. We can build something that will have a wheel and will be moving around, and with some kind of brush, and you put some inside, it will do everything. Just you have to write the code that will tell it to do everything, when it has to put water, when it has to put soap, when it has to dry. All these things.
So all that is on computer engineering.
Exactly.
It's another code.
It's like in computer engineering, it's actually like the umbrella. Okay? And inside the computer engineering, you have subfields. Subfields like AI, subfields like data science, subfields like machine learning. And machine learning and AI are the fields that are bringing these artificial intelligence products or technologies or solutions. But the umbrella I can see is computer engineering, because these are the, in undergraduate, what they try to give us is for everything that you can build your career on. So right now, as I finished already. I've been able to identify that, okay, this is where I want to build a career, because there are too many sub-fields.
Okay, I see. So guys, you heard about what he said. So the other thing that I want to ask is, does it mean like every person who is studying computer engineering must know how to code? And if it's a must, then how long did it take for you to code? And what are the basic materials or coding apps, I don't know, whatever, the codes that you use to the process of studying?
So to study computer engineering, definitely you take courses in programming, like course that has to teach you programming. So by the end of your bachelor's program in computer engineering, you definitely know how to code. So that I would say yes.
You have
So if you don't need to know how to code to do computer engineering. You will be taught how to code, or you will learn how to code during the process. Okay, so it's not like coding is a prerequisite.
And do you think like nowadays I usually see on my YouTube ads in the place where we are in Cyprus right now. So I usually see ads that usually pop up on my websites that you can bring your kid to code at a very early age. Do you think it's important? Okay, so me, I'm already in my 25s right now, or I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 18 years old. Do you think it's okay? I think I'm already late to start coding. Or do you think, okay, you can start from where you are, or what do you think?
So I know people in YouTube, like they give their stories, like one, they learn to code at age 40, another 50. So what am I saying? As I was saying, it's just about, first of all, the desire and trying to follow the trend where the world is moving. For instance, you don't need to study computer engineering, or you don't need to go to university right now to learn to code. You can get courses on forums like Udemy or even YouTube and learn how to code. So it all has to do with your desire and what is your vision, how are you predicting the world, how do you want to make yourself relevant? For instance, now a business owner may need a website and may decide, okay, I want to learn to code so that I can make the website for my business. This is it. So, as I was saying, there will come a time, basically everything will require these things. So, for me, and many other senior people in the field, like I remember the CEO, the founder of Apple, iPhone. So he was saying that every child in the United States should be taught how to code. What does that mean? In primary school, for example, these courses should become like prerequisites before you finish primary school to at least be introduced to coding. Because it's important. Even if you don't want to really build your career, but just know it. Maybe later you want to go into the trend where the world is moving to, which is software, which is technology. So at that point, it will not necessarily be completely new to you. Like for instance, in my case, I was in senior school already. I never knew about computer engineering. I had to do the research myself. But the opportunity that this will give to young, especially young students, young people at primary school, is that it exposes them at an early stage to what opportunities are there, what fields are there that they can choose from, or what the exciting things they can do with code. So I think it's really important.
I feel like I will speak of my country with the coding and everything. Do you think like maybe it should be like the way we study, what was this? Science in
Mathematics.
Yes, science, mathematics, English, or what was the other subject that we used to have? Do you think like we need coding in our curriculums?
Exactly. Now in school we use a calculator, like a already built calculator. But do you know you can actually use a programming language as a calculator? Okay. I mean, like you want to add two numbers, 2 plus 1, you can write it, for instance, in Python, which is a programming language, and it gives you the results for. So I think it's kind of it will kind of be interesting if even high school mathematics start introducing like what you do in the theory. For instance, you implemented an equation, you solved an equation. Now write this solution in a programming language. Because basically, all these things are built on basic mathematics. The basic operations we do, plus addition, all these things. So I think introducing programming language to go along, especially to go along with the math classes, would be very much useful to students.
Who want to pursue
and
just having basic knowledge.
Just having the knowledge. Exactly. Just having been exposed, because exposure is very important, which is what we lack mostly in Africa. Like not exposed into these things. As it was in the case.
Yes, so I see, like, I also wanted to ask, like, on a call on African countries for us to maybe have a coding class or something. Do you think, like, it's possible, or we still have a long way to go?
So definitely we need the structures to be put in place. For instance, schools need to have at least computer labs, and which in my country, as I know, currently not every school has a computer lab. So definitely it's important that government or schools begins to have this in mind. We have to start from somewhere. Like China, they are already teaching their kids how to program at 5 years or 2 years old or so. But they started somewhere, so definitely we have to start somewhere by maybe adding the labs. And for me, one of my dreams is to have a coding school that will teach people to code in my country. So definitely, it's something I support.
Yeah, I to myself, I literally support. I usually tell Albert here to come to Tanzania. We can start a coding school, you know. So guys, yes, that was me with Albert. And in case there's anything you want to add up here, can you just...
Yes.
And I also want you to encourage, like I have a lot of my younger brothers, my younger sisters, and many other friends who might feel like, okay, I'm not good at mathematics then I don't need.
Alright, so programming is not really much about mathematics. What do I mean? Throughout my studies, I studied calculus 1, 2, even more advanced math. but I've not really used it in my program. What do I use in my program? It's just your basic operations of addition, multiplication. So you don't need that complex mathematics, just basic, you know. So everybody can do it, as I said. It just has to do with your motivation and what do you envision about your life.
Yes, Albert also has classes, online classes of coding. Just in case, I'm calling especially for Tanzanians who will be listening. Please follow this guy. I already said he's one of the best students in my university and he's doing computer engineering. He develops websites. I think you've developed an app. You're going to develop an app.
I do mostly web applications.
Web applications. So please, guys, at least have the basic knowledge. You see, we have these people who are willing to give the knowledge that they have freely. Later on, you might look for him, then he'll be charging you a lot of money. So you better come early and pick this opportunity. I just gave you a hint.
So yeah, so you can follow me, as she said, on social media.
Yes, I'll leave the link.
And I post a lot about these things in my social media. So let me just talk about opportunities you can expose yourself to, about being able to, especially code. Now, for instance, yesterday I was reading the Canadian government just introduced some visas for, especially to attract tech talent into their country, because according to them, they are lacking these skills in the job market. So these are just some of the things you can benefit from. You know, for instance, they said if you have a certain skill and you're able to be in your country, have an employer, because they have employer who scout for talents that are out of hand. So if you're able to get a job in your country, in Canada, they will allow you to come in. And if you have a certain level of skills, even if you don't have a job, you'll be able to enter and go and find a job there. They'll give you like 6 months. Within 6 months, you find a job, they'll give you the highest rate. So these are all opportunities. And I said earlier, you can also work remotely. Like for me, this is what I like actually. It's what I like mostly now about this field. That I can be in my home, work for someone anywhere in the world. You can be in Africa, get paid in foreign currency.
Yes.
Definitely. So I think it's exciting.
Yes, it is really an exciting course. Of course, I would like to do that, but I'm fine in my field and I'm enjoying. So thank you very much, Albert. So there's one question I want to ask you. This is about his social life. I know him, so I have known him for almost 4 years right now, and I'll keep knowing him because we'll still be in touch even if we're gonna leave each other. So I know that you are a person who maintains your relationship. You know, like those people who are like, wait, there are these people who you're like, or maybe he does not know so and so. He knows the person, he has the number of the person, but the way he maintains that relationship is like a person who can just go to this person and talk to that person and get what he truly wants. So how do you maintain your relationship? I know it's not something that you expected me to tell you. Like there's a way he maintains his relationship with everyone, you know, like everyone. Of course, me, it's a bit of a challenge for me to maintain a relationship with each and everyone. So like, how do you do it?
Okay, so basically, I don't think it's something that I consciously put effort in.
Yeah.
I believe it's just people love excellence and they want to associate themselves with excellence.
Wow, so you're trying to say that.
So for most parts, for most of my relationships, I don't really put like extra effort, like, oh, I have to call every day, every week.
Yeah.
But people are they just love what I do and the way I do it. They want us to maintain this relationship. Definitely, I'm also responsive. As I said, I am open mostly to anybody really who has this desire to learn these skills. So I try to mentor people, especially young people, guide them, tell them courses they can take. I even have a Udemy account, which is a paid account. And most times I tell them, okay, this is the course you can take. So by that also, I think I've been able to impact lives, and because of that, we have this relationship here. But for most other ones, actually, it's where those I meet in my class. Like I have one now that's like he's a people born actually. That means he's a very responsible man already. But he just saw me. He told me the first day I entered this class, he said I knew we should become friends.
You see, that's very excellent. Of course, I did not mean like I am so bad at it. Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm trying. I'm learning from people who are doing it well.
We are sharing the grace together.
Yeah, so that's how this is Albert. I really like the way he maintains his relationship with people, especially the way he is. He's usually a very busy guy, but there's a way that he keeps everything in a way that I hope maybe some other day I might have an interview with him, maybe when he's now in the next levels. So I will talk more about him, but he's really an excellent guy. There's so much I usually say, and I believe you usually see
I
that.
think the next interview you can do when I visit Tanzania.
Yes, he's gonna be in Tanzania, of course. He wants to go to Mount Kilimanjaro, so yes, I will be there to host him. So guys, it was really a joyful moment to be with you, and I'm very thank God that I did with you. I think I'm the first person to host you. So it's really my pleasure, and thank you very much for honoring my invitation. So yes, guys, that was Albert. In case you have any questions before we leave each other, people might request for an interview, like to ask questions. So please, guys, don't hesitate to send me questions in the DM, in my WhatsApp, in my Instagram page, and also leaving the comments there in case you want to reach me. So I will leave all his links down on the description page box, so you can check it from there. Thank you very much, guys, and till next time, I love you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.